Welcome to episode 18. My name is Kamehle Sibanda, or just Kama for short. I'm here with my co-host, Hugo.
We're thrilled today to have our super guest.
My name is McCall Langford. I have a background in biomimicry. I have an early career in marketing and business. My grandfather, he had been running a carpet manufacturing company. And this client was like, no, like not what are you doing to the environment? What are you doing for the environment? And, he didn't have a good answer. And a book ended up on his desk, The Ecology of Commerce by Paul Hawken. And he read this book, and it really was a very clear-cut explanation that these massive industrial manufacturing firms, these corporations, are responsible for the well-being of this planet. And they happen to be the entities that are doing the most damage. He set this company, we're going to change the way that we're producing carpet. We're going to change the way that we're manufacturing. We're going to change the materials we're using, the industrial engineering processes that we're following. And they built a dream team to help guide interface to this place of regeneration. One of the folks was Janine Benyus. And she brought the concept of biomimicry to the forefront of interfaces, design thinking, decision making. The leader of this field who's been, coined with the term biomimicry. The character that showed up in my life when I was 5 or 6 years old, getting a formal education in a field that I understood the basics of, definitely changed everything. You really have to marry privilege with responsibility and knowledge. Deep patterns in nature are the most important things that we could be pulling from to inspire design, especially when we start emulating on a systems level.
Where do you see the opportunities in the future?
Folks have been training, and these corporations are waking up and saying, we really do need folks that are knowledgeable in this type of design. My mother is very much tied in with regenerative transportation and mobility. She and a few other folks have founded a nonprofit called the Ray Highway, inspired by my grandfather. It is an 18-mile stretch of interstate in South Georgia, and the nonprofit has entered into the first ever charter between State Department of Transportation and the U.S. Federal Department of Transportation. And the entire intent of this charter is to serve as a test bed for regenerative innovation in transportation and mobility on highways.
What are the objectives of the project?
To identify ways in which the highway transportation system itself can operate in a regenerative capacity, from solar installation mapping to bioswales along the right-of-ways to smart planting to looking at materials that we're using in infrastructure development. We're looking at how vehicles speak to each other and how vehicles speak to technology along the roads. The goals are zero death, zero waste, and zero carbon on the interstate and highway systems in the U.S. So the ray.org is the website for the Ray, and they have a plethora of existing technologies that are already being demonstrated. And then they also have technologies that are coming soon. One of the major challenges with electrifying our vehicle fleets is that we do not have the grid to support that kind of electrification. So if all of our cars were electric, right now we wouldn't be able to power the cars on the current grid. So we have to generate new energy. So identifying areas of land where it's safe for the driver, where there's appropriate sun exposure, and solar panels would be safe to install. The Ray started mapping out all of the places within the United States along the interstate system that solar fields could live.
My personal concerns are around the issue of microplastic.
But if there's tire on the tire and tire in the road, that you will generate some microplastics. They do have on that 18-mile stretch, they have tested a rubberized pavement where they are taking waste from tires and they are integrating it into an aggregate. It's a transitional solution. We shouldn't even have the rubber waste that is being used to increase the durability of the road.
What could possibly replace fossil-based binders like asphalt?
So we've connected the Ray with Blue Planet, who's looking at coral production as an inspiration for fossil fuel-free hard materials. Self-repairing asphalt and carbon negative asphalt, carbon sequestering asphalt. All of a sudden, these are legitimate products that are on the table.
What have you done to sensitize the people so that they are aware of what you're doing?
Anything that goes on the interstate still has to meet the Georgia Department of Transportation's specs and the Federal Department of Transportation specs.
But you are doing stuff that is out of spec.
Yeah, there's very much a PR project going down here where we're, ahead of time promoting within our community what's going on, trying to keep constituents that travel up and down the road regularly really informed. A lot of the initiatives are very much incognito. Like bioswales don't look like anything if you install them a specific way. But pollinator gardens, they look absolutely beautiful and people like that. The feedback loops, right? Of like, how do you reach people while they're traveling down the roads? Do you offer them reconnection opportunities where you encourage them to pull off, turn to channel 98.1 for a radio download?
What I'm trying to bring into the conversation is also that it is nice to live in a healthy ecosystem. The air is better, the water is much better quality, the food is great.
Regeneration has to be our mission at this point. We no longer can have a sustainability mission. That's not going to cut it at this point.